Have you ever felt surrounded by people, yet profoundly alone? That is the paradox of our time. We hold galaxies of connections in our palms, likes, follows, messages, yet our souls ache with emptiness. Aristotle once said, "Man is by nature a social animal." But what happens when society becomes digital shadows instead of real presence? We chase notifications, not conversations. We trade voices for emojis, depth for scrolling. Loneliness grows not in silence, but in noise. Imagine sitting at a crowded table, yet no one truly sees you. This is the loneliness paradox. More connected, more alone. The question is, how do we escape?
Why does the screen glow brighter than the people beside us? We're wired for belonging, yet starved of intimacy. Neuroscience reveals that isolation triggers the same pain centers as physical injury. Loneliness doesn't whisper, it burns. Plato warned, the greatest penalty of refusing to engage with society is being ruled by the inferior. And today, we're ruled by algorithms. Our worth measured in metrics, not meaning. We scroll for validation while avoiding eye contact in elevators. Real connection feels harder, riskier, but also more necessary than ever, because 1,000 followers can't replace one friend who listens. Loneliness hides in plain sight. Are we brave enough to look it in the eye? Have you noticed? The louder the feed, the quieter your heart becomes. We think connection means constant access, but proximity is not presence. Sharing does not equal being seen. The Stoic Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Yet today, we broadcast endlessly, but listen rarely. We curate highlight reels while burying our wounds. Loneliness thrives not because no one cares, but because no one dares to show their real self. True intimacy begins when masks fall, when silence isn't awkward, but sacred. Loneliness is not the absence of people, it's the absence of depth. And depth is what we're missing. What if your loneliness is not a curse, but a compass? Like hunger signals lack of food, loneliness signals lack of connection. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. Viktor Frankl, survivor of Auschwitz, wrote, "Those who have a why to live can bear almost any how." Loneliness is your soul crying out for that why. It reminds you, scrolling won't save you, only meaning will. Instead of numbing it, what if we listened? Loneliness isn't telling you to collect more contacts, it's urging you to seek resonance, to find one person who sees you, not 1,000 who skim past you. It is not punishment, it is a message. Will you answer the call? Connection isn't built in Wi-Fi, it's built in presence. Research shows face-to-face interaction releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. A single genuine conversation lowers stress more than hours of digital chatter, yet we invest more in devices than in dinners. Confucius once wrote, "Silence is a true friend who never betrays." But silence shared with another, that is friendship's highest form. We fear pauses, so we fill them with endless scrolling. But presence isn't about filling time, it's about inhabiting it. Loneliness fades not when we are surrounded, but when we are understood. The paradox unravels when presence replaces performance. Are you willing to trade distraction for depth? Loneliness thrives where vulnerability dies. We've built digital armor, filters, captions, carefully chosen words. But perfection isolates. Connection requires cracks. Rumi whispered, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." Yet today, we hide the wound, chasing endless light without substance. Loneliness grows in the shadows of pretending. The paradox? We fear rejection, so we hide. But hiding guarantees rejection from ourselves. True connection begins not with impressing, but confessing. When you whisper, "Me too," and someone's eyes soften, loneliness loses its grip. You don't need to be flawless, you need to be human. The question is, will you let yourself be seen?
Do you know what kills loneliness faster than any like? Service. When we shift from who sees me to whom can I serve, our isolation begins to break. Research confirms that volunteering, giving, listening, these acts reduce loneliness more than consumption ever will. As Seneca wrote, wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness. Loneliness shrinks in the presence of purpose, because service transforms the self from a void into a vessel. And in pouring out, we are filled. Loneliness loses when love leads. The paradox cracks when we stop asking, "Who will hold me?" and instead whisper, "Whom can I hold?"
What if the cure for loneliness is courage? Courage to text first. Courage to invite, even when they may say no. Courage to sit with discomfort until it turns into trust. Nietzsche once wrote, "Invisible threads are the strongest ties, but invisible ties only form when we risk vulnerability." Loneliness whispers, "Stay safe." Connection shouts, "Step closer." We fear exposure, but the paradox is avoiding risk guarantees emptiness. Courage doesn't erase loneliness, but it builds bridges strong enough to carry us across it. Every message unsent is a friendship unborn. What bridge are you afraid to build?
Here's the secret. You were never truly alone. Neuroscience reveals that our brains are wired for connection, yes, but also for imagination. Loneliness magnifies, but memory heals. The voice of a loved one, the echo of kindness, the courage of ancestors, these live within you. Marcus Aurelius said, "Nowhere you can go is more peaceful than your own soul." Loneliness may visit, but it doesn't own you. The paradox softens when we realize presence isn't only external, it's also internal. Connection begins with self, with sitting still long enough to remember you belong to existence itself. Loneliness may knock, but it cannot stay where love already lives. Listen carefully, because this is for you. Loneliness is not your enemy. It's your invitation. It's asking you to replace performance with presence, scrolling with silence, followers with friends. Kierkegaard wrote, "The most painful state of being is remembering the future, particularly one you can never have. But your future can change. Imagine a life where you are truly seen, truly heard, truly loved. That life begins not someday, but now. Send that message, make that call, look someone in the eye, and let silence breathe between you. Because the paradox is broken the moment you choose connection over comfort."